I'm the president of the Parliament of Davos, and it's an honor to me to opening this. And it's great that we have it here because it's so important for Davos that we have a contrast to the WEF.
So perhaps if I can leave you with just one thought, it's don't shoulder this burden all by yourself. The point of the World Economic Forum is collaboration.
So the Climate Hub Davos is an initiative to bring people together that on the one hand are working on climate and nature so they can co-create for our future, but on the other hand also really a place for inspiration sessions that people can bring home new solutions, new ideas and new contexts to do projects with.
We know this is a wicked problem. No one actor can do this alone. Johan can't do it alone. I can't do it alone. You can't do it alone. But what we need is every person to do their part and to trust everyone else to do their part.
You represent the organization We Don't Have Time. It's a platform, media platform for climate action. And already the name says there's a sense of urgency. Can you talk a bit more about that?
I can, and I was hoping you were going to ask me how I feel.
Oh, how do you feel? Go ahead. What's the one word? The
sorry
one
for
feeling?
killing the party. I'm actually very upset.
Upset.
I'm angry because 8 years ago, together with my co-founder sitting here, on more or less 8 years ago exactly, we founded We Don't Have Time, and there was one person responsible for that, and that was Donald Trump. When he became elected first time to US president, that became so clear to me that our world leaders will not act on the climate crisis. So many things have happened since he got elected, and now he's re-elected. And that made me very angry, because we don't have more time now compared to 8 years ago.
The problem is that we are heading towards overshoot, that even if we are able to decarbonize very rapidly, we are already at a point where there's so much climate forcing in the pipeline that we are very likely going to pass through the 1.5 in a 10-year average. Remember that we touched 1.5 in 2024 as a calendar year occurrence, but the IPCC measures global mean surface temperature as a 10-year average, and the 10-year average point is likely to be breached somewhere between 2030 and 2035, and we have a 30-40 year period overshoot before potentially coming back to 1.5. This is the best science can offer today. We assess at the Potsdam Institute that we can no longer hold 1.5 without ever breaching it. So what you see here is a period where it will get worse before it gets better. We'll have more fires, droughts, heat waves, human-reinforced hurricanes before we potentially come back into a manageable future below 1.5. And of course, why would we come back? Why would the planet settle back after overshoot? We know this. It's the planetary boundaries. It's the health of the planet. It's a resilient living biosphere that can uphold carbon uptake capacity. That's why we are so concerned about this factor. So I leave you with this point for the Climate Hub here in Davos. We meet 2025 at a very pivotal point. You know, where will the planet move at this point? Can we keep the momentum going? Can we keep the scientifically aligned landing zone as the North Star for our development? Or are we going to leave Davos feeling that we're actually losing momentum and starting to move backwards at a point where we actually have to accelerate moving forward? That's why these dialogues are so incredibly important. Thank you very much.
So James Stockdale was a prisoner of war. He was in Vietnam, and he managed to survive a prisoner of war camp when many other people died. And when he came out of the camp, there were only a few prisoners, and somebody said to him, well, what was it, James, about your reaction to your situation that led you to survive? How is it that you survived when many others died? And he said, well, it was really interesting to see in the camp there were three kinds of prisoners. There were those who got so inundated by the trauma response that they were not able to self-advocate. They were not able to step up and take any action. They got caught in fight, they got caught in flight, they got caught in freeze, they got caught in fold, and they died. On the other end of the spectrum, there were prisoners who were like, it's okay, we're going to get out. It'll all be fine. We're going to get out tomorrow. Okay, oh, it's already tomorrow. Okay, we're going to get out next week. We're going to get out next month. In the nature and climate space, that's the equivalent of let's kick the can down the road. Technology will save us. There's nothing we need to do. They also died because they got so disappointed. And he said there was a small category of prisoners who were able to both look in the face the hard realities of the crisis they were in, whilst also seeing very clearly the opportunity space and the positivity and maintaining that optimism. And he said that was the category of prisoners who survived. But it's very difficult from a behavioral cognitive psychology perspective to do that, because we tend to either get caught in the trauma or we tend to focus on the optimism, and it's very hard to walk that middle ground. And so what we at the Forum are trying to do is to give platforms to people like Johan to share those hard realities, because we need to hear them. And we need to fully embed what is actually happening on the planet at the moment. We need to see that and it's super to see the planetary health check is such a revolution in science to help us have that check every year. It's incredible because previously science only had every 6 to 8 years an update. But now we've got it every year, which is great because it shows us transparently what's happening. It gives us that stock take. But at the same time, we need the path towards the solutions. And so that's what we're also building. And within the Center for Nature and Climate, we have many initiatives on the net zero path, on the nature positive path, on resilience, on circularity, to help ensure that we are moving companies in the right direction, creating positive cycles of competition. In fact, we harness that tendency of companies to compete for good, to say, okay, let's create a first movers coalition. Let's pull the CEO climate leaders together. Johan and I were just with the CEO climate leaders talking about the need for urgent resilience. This is the group of those who are mitigating climate change, who have said, actually, we're needing to be working on adaptation and resilience at the same time. To Johan's point on the report that we launched, this is business on the edge. It's no longer an option for business to respond to this. It's a fiduciary responsibility of boards. And we're seeing CEOs waking up to that. And we're seeing legal departments waking up to it. And we're seeing a huge amount of action and awareness that never existed there before. So there's a lot of possibility in that space. But we're also needing to share those very hard facts. And so that's the line that we're weaving. And for me, it's very exciting to see Climate Hub and the work that you're doing here, because I see that ability to weave those two narratives together. And if I look at your program, I can see the possibilities and the solutions and all of those innovations that you're bringing together and you're profiling. And I can also see the hard-hitting facts and the tough realities. And we're going to need to find our way between that. And in that way, we can build up the resilient systems. We can respond in innovative ways to the risks that we're seeing. And we can help to ensure a net zero nature positive future if we really each take our own step. So that would be my encouragement. And my question to you is, what is the step that you're committing to take? What is it that you can do to help to support this great ambition? And how can we collaborate better together through Green Up and the Climate Hub, through collaboration with the Mayor of Davos, through our collaboration with the World Economic Forum, to help make sure that each of us is stepping up when others may not be?